0 for Ukraine. To give you a bit of a marker, when Peter Waterfield and Tom Daley did this dive in the preliminaries, 3.3 reverse 3.5 somersaults, 85.14 marks they got this morning. 2 dives are up on, 1 dive they're down on from the prelims, so they're looking for upper 80s if they can to keep them in contention.
Oh, struggling a little bit this afternoon, the boys. I'm not surprised though. Pete Waterfield's been in bed for the past 4 days, unwell, and he got back in the pool yesterday, so they've done really well to qualify, and that's just a little reflection there. Pete going into the water, straight up and down. He's upright, but doesn't quite get his hands and rip that entry. Synchronization is good. Looks like he's a little bit tired this afternoon. They're going to have to tough it out now for the remaining 2 rounds.
Yeah, 10 marks down on in the prelims for Pete Waterfield and Tom Daley. 4.5 somersaults in the forward position. And a tariff that has 3.7. This is the biggest dive.
Yeah, it's their biggest dive. This is the one that they nailed in Sheffield when they managed to topple the Chinese earlier this year in April. But of course, coming into these World Championships, Pete struggling this evening. He's been in bed for nearly 5 days, unwell. And it's very difficult coming in to do these dives anyway. Tom doing a good job. Pete empty in the pool there. 3.72 degree of difficulty. Remember how easy the Mexicans made it look. This is how difficult it is. Our boys will be out of the medals today. Still got a year to go till London.
Yeah, 71.04. And the marks on the left, not too impressive. Tom doesn't want to look, and Pete has already strode away from the scene of the crime. Final dive. It's not going to be a medal today for Pete Waterfield and Tom Daley, but they'll want to finish with the plum. Back 2.5 somersaults, 2.5 twists. Not been Pete's day, not been Pete's week. He's not felt well. Tom, for the most part, has had a pretty decent day, but they need to round it off in synchro.
They do round it off very much together in synchro. Both divers, both Tom and Pete, entering the water slightly shorter vertical, which will mean the scores you see on the left-hand side of the screen for execution will be a little bit lower than we'd hope. The synchronization is still very good. Hitting the water at marginally different times. And that's a good dive for the boys to finish on. Not their day today. You know, never going to be great with such a disrupted preparation this final week. But they've stayed in it, they've kept their cool, reasonable.
Yeah, 77.76 is really wrong for the Chinese pair at the end. Quite a bit of leeway between them and the rest of the pack, so should be relatively straightforward. A dive of 3.6 never really be called relatively straightforward, but the way they execute it, invariably it is. So last dive from the Chinese.
Oh, truly exceptional. My goodness me. Wow. I wasn't expecting that on this final round. They looked a little bit off their game so far, if I could say that. But wow, throw some marks to that one, judges, because I fully agree with you. That is just how synchronized diving should be done. The crowd are on their feet. I am on my feet. The German pair there, silver medalists, just deserved. But here are your gold medalists for sure, 100%. Kibo and Huai Liang.
And the margin of victory is huge. It's all of 37 points between first and second, and this is why.
Look at that mirror image, down into the water. Both divers perfectly executed, drilling their entries. Look how strong they are. Here's the 2.5 twist. Beautiful pike position, chest on the thighs, drilling the entries. Now that is synchronized diving at its very, very best.
So the final standings, China, Germany, Ukraine, edging out Russia and USA 4th and 5th. Great Britain finishing in 6th place with Waterfield and Daley. Sanchez and Garcia making it up to 7th in the end for Mexico, and Canada in 8th. Hubo and Hyo Leong. Crowd already had one Chinese gold medal to celebrate in the diving pit. Here comes the second, and probably the most expected. Led from the front in the preliminaries, never headed in the final. And although perhaps they weren't on the very top of their game, Nearly 500 points tells you that they are the pair. The rest of the world has to catch. And the rest of the world has some catching up to do to get in their slipstream.
Certainly do. Kibo just receiving his flowers and cuddly toy there. He is only 18 years old, just 1 year older than Tom Daley. So we're certainly going to be seeing a lot more of him over these next few years.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It's an anthem we became very familiar with in Beijing in 2008, and I fancy we'll have to get used to it in 2011 in Shanghai at the World Diving Championships. Maybe in the individual in a week's time it will be a little bit different. Certainly Pete Waterfield and Tom Daley will be hoping so.
For you, Tom, obviously it must have been difficult having to wait around and actually not know if you were going to get to compete today.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're very lucky to be able to compete because Pete's been ill. But the thing is, you've got to deal with loads of different situations. Like, what if that happens in 2012? What happens if that happens in any competition? You just have to try and make the most of the situation. And we came together and we dived quite well considering what's been going on.
And obviously you've had a difficult time over the last few months with the death of your father. And how has your preparation for these World Championships then been different to 2 years ago when you ended up as World Champion?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a tough couple of months for me recently, but I'm here doing diving because it's something that I love to do, and it's something that my dad loved, and it's something that he would have wanted me to do as well.
And so do you think it helps being part of the team, having a team event to get you going?
Yeah, definitely. It's always great diving with Pete because he's such an experienced athlete, done many Olympic Games, Olympic medalist, so it's a great partnership, and I think there's so much more to come from it in the future.
So you've got plenty of time now before your individual 10-metre platform. Are you thinking you're going to be fully fit by then?
Yeah, lots of training this week. So yeah, no, that's the good thing. I mean, we've got a bit of a gap now till the individual, so I can get some good training under my belt, and then again, hopefully get the top 12 that we need to qualify for the Olympics, and then if we get medals, we get medals, but you know, that's the main thing.
All the best for Sunday, guys.